Hello. So, continuing on my lessons, I've been a teacher at the high school level for 20 years. I've been doing HEMA for about 30 years. You'll hear the word pedagogy or pedagogy, and it's a fancy way of saying teaching, and I have a degree in that. So, not that degrees matter or even experience matters. So, instead, I'm going to just sort of sell you the models that I know, right? And then you kind of pick what works best for you because everybody has their own teaching style. Teaching is a bit of an art and a bit of a science. If it was just a science, everybody would do things the same way and we would get the same results, but that's not the case. So without further ado, let's look at some teaching models when it comes to HEMA. Okay, it's the SAY model. So in this one here, and this is what a lot of new instructors do, is they talk and explain a technique. And the problem with this one is instructors like it because they get to be the star of the show and they get to share their knowledge and they're generally enthusiastic about it, but they often talk too much. And what they'll do is they'll talk to their students. And the trick to do the same model is, I'm not saying you should never talk to your students, obviously that's not the case, but you should limit how much you talk to them. So do not talk too much. Generally 20 minutes max is what a willing audience is willing to listen to. When I do seminars, I generally talk for only about 20 minutes before I have some sort of interaction with the students and they are no longer just passive recipients of my knowledge. If you're teaching a HEMA technique, well, 5 minutes might be max, right? You want to really quickly get to what you want them to do and you don't want it too complicated because when it comes to audio memory, it's not always our best. And this book is called the SAY model. And most teachers start off with this at the beginning of a lesson and then quickly hop to modeling, where the instructor now shows the technique and the students mimic it. That's easy. You want to do this fairly quickly, and then while they're mimicking it, you want to try to correct it. And if you have fellow instructors, they can help you do that. So that's from your SAY to your model. Something else you can do is peer model, where you show it and then your instructors, they're the ones who really take on the lead. They find students that they can pair with, right? And this could be student to student or instructor to student, depending on what capacity you have. This one you can take a bit more time on because while they're doing it, you as the instructor are free to now really address any particular issues from the groups. And they're hopefully helping each other out. One of the fears of this model is, well, what if they do it wrong? Will they be permanently screwed up because they learned something incorrectly? No, not really. If you're there and you reinforce the same ideas repeatedly, the students will get it and your students will model it. And when they become instructors, they'll model it as well. So take your time with this one and be ready to supervise as necessary. You can also swap people around so they can try it with different heights, weight sizes. Okay, the do method, which we do a lot at Phoenix Society, is practice, right? The people will spar, they'll fight, they'll try to use the technique in an opposed drill, or maybe just a drill, up to you, but they're doing something with a partner. And then your job is very similar to when they're modeling it, is you're there to help correct. And you just step in as necessary. You don't want to bombard them with what they're doing wrong. You just want to make it quick, brief, and easy and look for improvement, not perfection. It takes time to get there. Another model is peer review, where someone does, and then at the end, the peers come together and they comment on it. So, example, you would put this person in and you would have them spar everybody. And maybe you're working on a particular technique or you just want to see their overall form. When they're done, the peers come together and they tell the student what they could have done better at, what they noticed was good. Your job is to maybe start off that conversation or not, it depends what you want to do, and they'll finish it. My advice though is keep it very, very brief. You don't want to bombard the student with too much information. And don't worry about saying nothing. Sometimes when you do this, everyone feels like they need to comment. They do not. And I always start this off saying, hey, I'm going to begin with what I noticed. And then when I'm done, I say, anybody else has anything to add? And don't feel the need to fill the empty space. You may not notice anything. And there's times when I watch a student and I don't want to really focus on anything negative, so I'll just say, nope, overall, good job. We'll focus on something another time. Putting all these models together can get you a fairly comprehensive way of like running a class and teaching a technique. Case in point, say, then you model it, then you have your peers model it and help train. Then you actually have them apply and you comment as necessary. Or you have them apply and you have the group comment as necessary. And this can make a class go by very quickly. And it can work with a physical activity or a mental one as well. And so those are some teaching methods that may be useful to you.